Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's doing pretty good today. Everybody can join me. We're going to start on our chairs today here. Get this little guy situated. That should be pretty good. All right, so we're going to starting up here on our chairs. We're going to be sitting at the very front. For those of you who are new to the class, there are two terms that I use in this class pretty often. And what I'm saying is either I'm telling you to hollow or arch. When I tell you to hollow, what I want you to do is I want you to squeeze your glutes and tighten your abdomen. It's going to round out your back and posteriorly tilt your pelvis. This is a hollow position here, okay? When I tell you to arch, you're going to do the exact opposite. You're going to arch your back, shoulders are going to come back and down, and your pelvis is going to anteriorly tilt. It's going to tilt forward. Okay? In this class, we're ideally achieving a nice balance between those two positions as it relates to the posture of our spine and our pelvis. So starting here with our feet shoulder width apart, knees directly underneath our heels, palms of our hands on top of the knee. We're going to take a deep breath. We're going to relax as we exhale. And what I want you to do very slowly is I want you to start to tighten the abdomen. Just very slowly. Start from the top, right where your rib cage is, where it starts to split. And just think about tightening those muscles. Just the ones at the top. And then slowly tightening the rest as they go down towards our pelvis. When you do this, you should feel your rib cage get drawn down, okay? Your chest may even tilt towards the floor. That's okay. Now, as you do this, I want you to squeeze your glutes a little bit here too, okay? You might even feel yourself lift in your seat just a little bit when you squeeze your glutes. Big thing is definitely keeping our abdomen nice and contracted. Okay? Very good. Now, whenever we're contracting those abdominal muscles, I am not telling you to contract the diaphragm. The diaphragm needs to relax and contract independently for us to breathe. So, it's a long-winded way of saying, I don't want you to hold your breath. Now, that might get difficult during some of the positions we hold, but throughout, all I want you to do is definitely make sure you are breathing, okay? And keeping those abdominal muscles contracted, contracting the glutes a little bit here. Now, with your arms straight, palms just on top of the knee, keeping the arms straight, we're going to push down, put some pressure on top of the knee, okay? Pushing down. What should happen is ideally, if we're still contracting those abdominal muscles, is your chest won't lift up. It'll try to. But instead, what will actually move is your shoulders will roll back and down. Okay? What will happen is you'll probably start to feel that lower back working a little bit as well. What's happening right now is we've got 360 degrees of musculature working in our core, all working together, okay? And we want to maintain this orientation because this is a nice neutral position, okay? We're not overly arched, we're not overly hollowed. Our spine is nice and neutral. And we're just going to hold this position and breathe. It's very important that we learn to brace, which is what we're doing right here. We're bracing and breathe. Brace and breathe. Now very slowly relax. Shake hands out if you need to. Stay in position. Contract the abdomen again. Slowly start to contract the glutes. Turn here. Okay. Now, with the arms nice and straight, pushing down on top of the knee, the palms of our hands. You got it. And breathe. And breathe. And breathe. Doing good. Now, we're going to add a little movement here, okay? So as we're holding these contractions here, okay, all throughout, pushing through the palms of our hands, we're going to slowly start to tilt back in our chair. Now, when we tilt back, don't arch your back. Still keep that stomach muscle pulling that sternum down, okay? But keep pushing through the top of the thigh with the hands. We're just going to tilt back. What I want you to pay attention to is your breathing and the weight coming off of your feet and shifting towards your hips. Now, you're going to pause just before you feel like your feet have no weight in them now, okay? You should still feel a little bit of weight in your feet. They shouldn't be coming off the floor. Although you might feel that they want to. And breathe. Keep pushing actively through the palms of your hands on top of the thigh. Slide the hands up towards the knee. Don't let go of your posture for me, okay? Keep pushing down with the hands. Keep those stomach muscles nice and tight. And keep breathing. We're going to come back again. Ready? Here we go. Sliding back, pausing just before the weight completely comes off our feet. Is mostly in our hips. Breathing. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Come forward. Relax, shake it out a little bit if you need to. Real quick, in case this gets a little overwhelming in the moment, we're going to do the same thing. We'll come back, and what's going to happen is I'm going to rotate to one side. So like this is me kind of rotating towards my right. My right shoulder draws back. The left shoulder draws forward. The left hand moves up moves down the thigh. The right hand moves up the thigh. But I'm still forward, okay? I'm going to hold this position, and then when I tell you, we'll switch, and precipitatively, we will rotate towards the other side. I'm still pushing down with both hands, and then I'll probably square us up, and then we'll come forward, okay? So that's what we're going to do next. But let's reset how we normally would. Start off with the abdomen, the glutes, straight arms pushing down onto the knees. Doing good. Now, coming back, letting the weight shift from our feet towards our hips, mostly. Pause once you're there, and breathe. And breathe. Push down hard with those hands on the thigh. You got it. And breathe. You're doing good. Now we're going to rotate towards the right, okay? Right hand shifting up the thigh, left hand shifting down the thigh. And I'm rotated. This is a difficult position. It's not easy. If you have to lean up a little bit in order to rotate more, that's okay. If you have to, once you get up and if you rotate, you notice you're like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. Lean back again a little while I rotated. And now let's rotate towards the other side. Again, if you need to come up, you can, and rotate and come back if possible. Even in this position, I'm pushing down with the palms of both my hands on the thigh. And breathing, never wavering. Back to the other side. Breathe, breathe, breathe. You got it. Breathe, breathe. Breathe and breathe some more. Switch to the other side. Rotate it to the other side now. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Come on, you can do it. Breathe through it. If you have to lean up a little bit, you can, but try to stay contracted. Let's square up, hold, come forward, keep breathing, don't let go, don't let go. We're coming right back again, okay? Coming right back. This time we're just gonna hold and breathe. Breathe, pushing down with the palms of your hands, breathe, 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 coming forward. One last time, coming back, and breathe. Keep those stomach muscles tight. You're still squeezing your glutes. Still pushing down with the palms of the hands, coming back up. And relax, good job. If you want, you can stand up, kind of walk around a little bit, shake the legs out if you need to. Not too bad, right? Now if you want to, if you're gonna remain seated the rest of, or throughout the class here, that's okay. Just a reminder, for those of you who are, when we do certain postures with the PVC, sometimes you might actually have the mobility to use the PVC. It's why we have an alternative with the yoga strap. But because of the chair, especially if it has arms on it, it can kind of get in the way. Try to use the yoga strap if getting this guy in position is more of an issue because of the chair. Use the yoga strap as an alternative. Okay, now, while standing up here, let me make sure this thing gets centered on me. Here we go. Okay, now, real quick, just one last time. We're gonna do is our hands are gonna be in front of our thighs. If you're seated, you're basically gonna kind of do the same thing in terms of the positions, except you'll just lean forward, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna squeeze the stomach muscles, squeeze those glutes. With the hands in front of the thigh, we're just gonna reach down toward the knees. And you should really be feeling those stomach muscles contracting. You should really keep squeezing those glute muscles. These muscles back here, your pelvis should be nice and posteriorly tilted. And we're down here. Now we're going to slowly come up, nice and easy. And the further we come up, the harder I want you to push into your thigh with the palm of your hand, and the less I want you to squeeze your glutes. You can still keep your abdomen squeezed. Once you get fully standing, your hands should be squeezing as hard as they possibly can, keeping your arms straight to the front of the thigh, which is going to help roll those shoulders back and down. Yeah. Roll the shoulders back and down. Squeezing back, squeezing back. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Three, two, one. Slowly relax the arms. Squeeze the glutes a little bit more. Squeeze the abdomen a little bit more. Reach out with your hands in front just like this. Let your shoulders roll forward. As if like you're trying to give a big old hug. Gotta have like this bowed shape here, okay? And breathe with me. Breathe with me. Breathe. You got it. You got it. And breathe. And breathe. Now we're going to slowly go, we're in a fully hollow position here, okay? Fully hollow, that back is nice and rounded. Pelvis is posteriorly tilted. Now let's do the opposite, okay? We're going to slowly start to straighten up our back. Relax the glutes, relax the stomach. Hands, palms of our hands are pointed forward. Palms of my hands are pointed forward. Back of my hands are pointed behind me. Thumbs are pointed out. Now I'm going to start to draw my hands back just like this. So you should really feel your shoulder blades squeezing back and down. Bring those hands back as far as I can, but don't let them raise up too high. Just pull them straight back. Just straight back, okay? Don't pull them up. Just pull your hands straight back. Okay. Really feel that arch in your back. I apologize if you're doing this in the chair and you have the arms on the chair kind of get in the way. If you need to, doing this in the chair is you should have your arms just on the outside of the arms of the chair and pulling back doing the same thing. And with this, you're just kind of really reaching with that back there, okay? Forward, just like this. Really feel that back and those shoulder blades connecting together. We're going to go back to our hollow, okay? Flip your hands so that way your palms face behind you. The back of your hand faces front. Very slowly, we're going to bring our hands in front of us as we slowly start to contract our glutes and the abdominal muscles all at the same time. It's okay if your knees are a little soft, but your knees are not going to bend. Or they're going to bend. They might be bent, but they're not going to continue to bend. Going right back into that hollow. Really exaggerating the opposites. The very, very far left and the very far right. The very blue and the very red. The very hot and the very cold. The yin, the yang. All these opposites. Getting a really good idea of what these positions are doing for you and what these positions feel like. Okay, feel those muscles. Take notice of what muscles are nice and contracted here. Now, last time, slowly coming back. Your arms are slowly opening back to the position where your palms are facing forward. You're relaxing the glutes a little bit. Shoulders are squeezing back and down. Hands are coming back. We have a nice arched spine position. Pelvis should be nice and posteriorly and anteriorly tilted forward. And relax. Woo! All right. Not too bad, right? No, not too bad at all. Let's grab our PVC. We're going to kind of do a little drill where we're going to use those two positions here. Okay? Now, same thing. Let's kind of start off with a real hollow position here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abdomen. I'm going to roll this guy down the thigh a little bit here, okay? Keep your PVC in contact with the thigh at all times. So this should literally be touching your leg. Now I'm not bent over forward. I'm just pulling that sternum straight down my pelvis, okay? The back will round. But I should still feel weight in my heels and the ball of my feet. Big toes pushing down to the floor. Breathing. And breathe. Now very slowly, I'm going to start to raise up. Now as I start to rise up a little bit more, I want you to keep your glutes squeezed. I want you to keep the abdomen squeezed. And just before you're fully standing tall, then squeeze that PVC into the top of your thigh. Now you'll notice that it's going to you're basically trying to bend the PVC around your thigh, around your hip at the front here. It's okay. It's not going to break on you. Just push those ends of the PVC back, pushing that PVC into the thigh. And what should happen here is, even though I'm still squeezing the abdomen down, that's what's going to help prevent that sternum from lifting up, because I don't want us to lift up here. I want us to have a nice neutral spine, even though I'm still pushing. Because if I wasn't doing that, what would happen is I'd do this. I'd be pushing my hips back, and my lumbar spine would over-exaggerate. I'd have an over-accentuated lordosis, or lordotic curve. We don't want that. We want a nice neutral spine. So as you push in with resistance, your pelvis doesn't even move anywhere at all, and your abdomen is staying right where it needs to. Or your spine is staying right where it needs to. Breathe, make sure you're breathing this, of course. And breathe, and breathe. And relax, good job. Woo. Now, real quick, we're gonna try to warm up these shoulders just a little bit, okay? So again, for those of you who I was just saying, like if you have the mobility to get this guy up here, but the chair's in your way, you can switch to a strap. But the alternative for this exercise we're gonna do here should be fine with you to be able to do it with the PVC. So what we're gonna do is either you're gonna have the PVC resting at the back side, top of the shoulders. It's not on my neck. Notice that it's not on the back of my neck. It is literally on top of the meaty part of my shoulders here, okay? Just like that. Now, if you're having troubles getting here, if this is very painful to get here, let's not do that. Let's not cause some pain. We're not coming here to induce any pain. Instead, put the PVC in front of your clavicle, your collarbone, and keep it in touch, in contact with the collarbone. Okay? If it gives you a choking sensation, just try to relax a little bit. It shouldn't be in your neck, by the way. It should literally just be on, like, in front of the collarbone. Now, in this position here, you gotta keep a constant effort of keeping it close up to the collarbone. And what I like for us to do, whether it's in front of us or whether it's behind us, is I'd like us to keep, at the very minimum, a vertical alignment of our forearm. So my elbow should be stacked underneath my wrist. That makes sense. Notice that my wrist is vertical. That my forearm is vertical. I don't want it to be back like that at all, okay? Pretty good? Okay, now, in this position, whether it's in front or it's behind you, without hollowing at all, I just want us to get a good idea about what compensation can look like again, okay? So we're gonna push both elbows forward. And take notice here, when I push both elbows forward, look at that, it doesn't really move very far. Really try to push them forward and relax. Push them forward as far as you can. And relax. Now, we're going to push them again, and this time take notice about whether or not, don't try to stop it if it does, but notice if whether or not your back starts to arch, okay? Push those elbows forward as far as you can. Did you notice when you're relaxing and you contract again, did you notice that your chest changes its angle? Is it facing more upwards? Do you notice that if your back is a little bit more arched, you can feel those back muscles contracted? See, we don't want that to happen. We're trying to focus and isolate the mobility in our shoulder, but you can already see at a certain point, once we tap that out, in order to keep moving forward, that lower back is compensating. That's not what we want. So how do we protect this from happening? Because we can't always have perfect mobility, but we can't protect ourselves. So that comes from bracing and maintaining good posture and a good stable position, a neutral spine. So now we're going to keep our elbows relaxed for a second here. We're going to squeeze those glutes. We're going to squeeze the abdomen. You should feel that sternum come down a little. Okay, should be down. Be nice and down. Down, very slowly. Keeping a nice, strong contraction with the abdomen. We're going to push the elbows forward. Okay, go ahead and push them forward. Yeah. You might notice they move forward even less. That's okay. We're getting an accurate picture of the mobility in our shoulder joint and no compensation is taking place. Relax the elbows, push them forward again, maintain the contraction with your glutes and the abdomen. You don't want that chest to face up. Relax, push it forward, and relax. And bring that PVC down. Woo, shake it out a little bit. Woo, not too bad, right? No, not too bad at all. Okay, now, we're gonna do the same thing again. So this time, we're just gonna do one arm at a time. Now you know how important it is to make sure that our body's not compensating, so we're going to maintain the glutes squeezed and the abdomen contracted. Yeah. All right. Now, push those elbows forward. Squeezing those stomach muscles. Now, let's just do one elbow, okay? Let's do the left elbow first. Left elbow comes forward. You might notice it comes forward a little bit more than when you're doing it with both. That's okay. Relax the elbow, push it again forward, same side. Relax, push it forward. Make sure you're not rotating or anything like that. Relax, switch elbows, right elbow forward. Relax. Forward. Relax. Forward. Keep breathing. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Not holding our breath at all. And relax. Take that PVC down. Shake it out for a little bit. Alrighty. Last time, we're going to really work on some mobility with our thoracic rib cage, our thoracic spine. Okay, so thoracic mobility here is going to be the focus. So we're going to put the PVC back up, or it's in front of the clavicle, trying to keep our elbows vertical, our shoulders vertical, elbows underneath the wrist. Feet are shoulder width apart. Okay. Just like this here. Squeezing those glutes, squeezing the abdomen. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna tilt just at my natural waistline. Towards the left. Then let's tilt towards the right. Back to the left. And to the right. Now level up and rotate towards the right. And then rotate towards the left. Still squeezing the abdomen. Back towards the right. Last time. Towards the left. Breathe. Forward and bring that PVC down. Woo! I know. It's a little rough, isn't it? Shake it out a little bit. Now, just with the PVC, we're going to push the PVC out in front of us, and we're going to bring it back just like this, okay? So I'm going to push it out, then I'm going to bring it back. So if you want to palpate your sternum right at the bottom, they call your xiphoid process. It's right at the point where your ribs start to split. It's that little bone right there. That's where I want you to take the PVC. Once more, I want it to start. You're just going to push away, just like that. Here, then push away. Pull it back, hold, squeeze your glutes, squeeze the abdomen, now push away again. Coming back, and pushing away. Shouldn't be shrugging. There we go. Now, comes the hard part. We're going to push out, we're going to hold. We're going to just bring this guy up as high as we can. Now, just before you get up a little too high, bring it back down to shoulder height. What I want you to be able to do is just like when we were doing this guy here, remember we were pushing here, and I was trying to tell you not to arch your spine. I want you to be able to do the same thing. I want you to be able to raise this guy up as high as you can within your range of motion, but without letting your chest lift up. So whether or not that's all the way up with the PVC just above your shoulders, or whether or not it's just right here or right here, that we come up and we're squeezing those abdominal muscles hard enough that you can start to feel where the range of motion and the mobility is in your shoulder, absent any compensation from the other parts of your body, okay? So let's start off in the beginning position, okay? Right here, bar, the PVC, the xiphoid process, squeezing our glutes, squeezing the abdomen, push straight out at shoulder height. Now we're going to raise up, squeeze that abdomen, squeeze those abdominal muscles, raise this guy up to wherever you can. And the higher that goes up, the more you need to squeeze those abdominal muscles, okay? And wherever that is, just hold and breathe. Try to relax your head, okay? Don't push your head back. Don't push your head forward. Just relax your head, okay? Neutral head posture here, okay? And slowly bring it down. Relax. Now I'm going to introduce a pretty weird movement here, and I'm going to use the yoga strap to demonstrate, okay? You will still use the PVC. But what we're going to do is pretend this is my PVC, okay? And pretend my PVC is straight unlike the slack that you see in this strap here. I'm gonna start here where I just did. I'm gonna push out, contracting my glutes, contracting the abdomen. I'm gonna lift up. And wherever it is that I consider to be kind of like my full range of motion, wherever that is, wherever it is today, you're gonna pause there, okay? Now when you're there, however high up that is, so let's say for me, that's right here. What I'm gonna do with my PVC is I'm gonna pull my hands apart. Now guys, look, check this out. Now your PVC obviously isn't gonna move, but I want you to pull on the PVC in the same way I'm pulling on this strap. You see how it has slack right now, and I'm pulling my hands apart, and the slack is gone. I want you doing that on the PVC. What's gonna happen instead, since the PVC is not a strap, is your shoulders are going to depress down, and they'll probably depress back a little bit, okay? The point of this exercise here is to make sure that we're not shrugging when we upwardly rotate our arms, or we go through what's called shoulder flexion here. Quite often, especially if you have tight shoulders, we tend to shrug a little. But if I can pull us down and apart when we're in that position, like we'll be using with the PVC. So let's say if I was shrugging, and then I pull, I emphasize really pulling those hands apart, my shoulders will come down. So you see how they went from here to down? From here, they came down. Well, that's what's gonna happen here. So let's get started. Feet are shoulder width apart. PVC is standing right at the point at which my ribs start to split apart. Squeezing my glutes, and naturally squeezing the abdomen, pushing forward. Now we're gonna raise up nice and easy, so as not to go too fast, so as to give ourselves enough time to contract harder on the abdomen, because we don't want the abdominal muscle. We don't want the lower back to compensate. We don't want that chest to lift up. As high as we can within your range of motion, while being able to keep the glutes squeezed, the abdomen contracted. Now, if you're shrugging a little bit, I understand. So let's make sure we're not shrugging here. Now, go ahead, while you're holding this position, pull those hands apart. Keep emphasizing a straight elbow, straightening your elbows and pulling your hands apart. Hopefully they won't slide off the PVC, okay? Hopefully you have a tight enough grip on here. You can just really feel those shoulder blades trying to draw back and down a little bit. Okay? Where your arms are straight. We're not compensating. Okay? Squeezing those glutes. Squeezing the abdomen. Pulling those arms apart. And rest. Woo! Now, you should really feel those shoulders and those muscles in between your shoulder blades right about now. Okay? Ideally, you weren't arching your back. Otherwise, if you were in that position arching your back, you definitely would be feeling this a lot in the lower back. Okay? Now, we're going to come up. We're going to do the same thing again. We're not going to spend as much time there. What we're going to do is I'm going to add one last thing. Is once you get up here, no compensation, you start to pull apart with your hands on the PVC. You should feel those shoulder blades squeeze back and down a little, or at least down. We're going to maintain that pulling apart contraction as we come down slowly, all the way down, pulling those hands apart up until the PVC is just in front of our thigh, at which point we'll just push with the PVC into the front of our thigh, okay? All right. This is going to be difficult. So at the very least, if you have to kind of reset halfway in between, you do what you need to do. Don't forget to breathe. PVC's set just below the chest. Squeezing those glutes. Squeezing the abdomen, pushing out, slowly raising up. And once we're as far as up we can go, we know that we're not arching our back. Arms are straight. We're going to pull those hands apart. Get a tight grip on that PVC. You don't want your hands to slide off. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now, slowly bringing the PVC down. Keep pulling your hands apart. Okay, keep squeezing the abdomen. Keep squeezing. Keep pulling those hands apart. Arms are straight. Arms are straight. Bring that PVC down to the front of our thigh. Now, all that effort with our arms and shoulders is going to go into pushing, pressing that PVC in the front of our thighs. Squeeze, squeeze hard for me, okay? Now squeeze as hard as you can, but don't let the chest lift up, okay? Remember, keep the stomach engaged. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now very slowly, we're going to relax our arms in 5, 4, 3, 2. Relax the arms, keep squeezing the abs. Squeeze the PVC back into the front of your thigh. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze as hard as you can. And breathe. Squeeze as hard as you can. And breathe. Relaxing the arms in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just the arms. Squeezing the glutes still, squeezing the abdomen. Squeezing the PVC back into the front of the thigh. Squeeze, 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 squeeze hard. As hard as you possibly can. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Slowly relax the arms, slowly relax the glutes and the stomach. Standing up nice and tall. And relax. Whew. You can put the PVC down for a second here. Shake your arms out. Oh, I know we can feel that, right? Everybody, we're going to take a seat. And we're going to grab our yoga strap, okay? I like to end with this one sometimes. So we're going to hook the middle notch of the yoga strap over the bottom of our left foot. And what you're going to do is you're going to shimmy your hands up. The notches here. So that way, when you have that left leg out straight in front of you, toe pointed up as such. And here, let me face this way. Pretty good? Cool. My arms are straight. My shoulders are engaged, okay? My shoulders are engaged. My elbows are nice and relaxed. I'm going to squeeze those glutes for me. We're going to squeeze your glutes for me. Squeeze the abdomen real hard. This one is going to be probably one of the most difficult abdominal contractions that you have to maintain throughout, okay? Because you should already feel your back contracting a little bit, okay? So your poor abdominal muscles have to fight all these big erector muscles that are in the back side. We're going to pull our elbows straight back. The leg will come up, but we aren't going to allow the lower back to arch, okay? You're going to squeeze that stomach real hard up to the point where our leg is parallel to the floor. Just by pulling the elbows back, you should feel your shoulder blades are squeezed back and down. I'm sitting up nice and tall in my chair, but I'm really focusing on squeezing the abdomen. I don't want to let go with those abdominal muscles. That's what's really protecting your back from having to work a lot. And it'd be very easy for your back to have to compensate in this one here. Slowly lower back down. Come back up. Just the only thing that should be moving is just pulling the elbows back. The leg rises. Squeezing the abdominal muscles. And we're going to bring it back down. And let's switch legs. Same thing, just the opposite side. You got it. All right, you ready? Squeeze those glutes for me. Squeeze the stomach muscles. Your shoulders are rolled back and down already. Now, the only thing we have to do is just pull those elbows back. The leg comes up. Woo, look at that, comes up nice and easy. Squeezing those stomach muscles, not so easy. Here's the trick. When I cue you to stand up nice and straight, can you do that without arching your back here? Sitting up nice and tall. Think tall through the spine. If you're thinking like as if you had a string tied to the top of your head and someone was pulling you straight up through the spine, how that would feel. This is exactly what invoking a good hollow position while your erectors are turned on should put you in, okay? Relaxing the arms forward lowers the leg, but we're still maintaining a tight abdominal contraction with the glutes. Pulling the elbows back again, the leg comes up. Sitting up nice and tall, squeezing those stomach muscles, not wavering at all. Hold, squeeze. Sitting up nice and tall for me. Sit up real nice and tall for me. Squeeze those stomach muscles. Don't let go. Don't let that back arch. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Woo! Everybody go ahead and stand with me real quick, or you can stay seated. We're going to start out with our hands on top of our thighs. Contract those stomach muscles to pull our sternum down. Hands reach for the knees. Squeezing the glutes. Now slowly start to come up. Squeezing the glutes, still squeezing the abdominal muscles. And once you get to the top, squeeze with the palms of your hands in the front of the thigh as hard as you possibly can, but without letting the chest lift up. Instead, your shoulders roll back and down. You should feel the weights in your heels and both feet. Squeezing and breathing. Very slowly, on my count, you're going to start off with relaxing the arms, the glutes, and then the abdomen, okay? Ready? In 5, 4, 3, 2, arms, glutes, stomach standing up nice and tall. And good job, everybody. Well done. Thank you again for joining. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see y'all next time. Thank you.